Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are making these beautiful striped butter cookies that are buttery, crisp and so much fun to make. So if you want to learn how to make them, then just keep watching. Starting with a clean dry bowl, we will take room temperature butter. Now when I say room temperature, it means it should be firm to hold its shape and soft enough to work with. Along with that, this time we'll be taking caster sugar. You can take home ground powdered sugar, but not the regular granulated one, as it would not melt in the baking and would leave the gritty texture in the cookies. Cream the mixture using a spatula until it comes to a smooth consistency. This looks good. Next, we will take in all-purpose flour. You can take whole wheat flour if you like, but always add it in parts to achieve the right consistency. This recipe is so adaptable, you can even try different flavor combinations of your choice. Just a suggestion, you could even add 1/4 cup of crushed nuts of your choice, and you'll get that extra crunch in every bite. Plus, you can even get your little fussy toddlers to have their portion of healthy nuts this way. Let me know what you think and write to me in the comments below. I'd like to mention the caster sugar can be easily substituted with jaggery powder or brown sugar, but the vanilla dough color will change, so you can choose accordingly. Once you get this crumbly texture, you can bring it all together by gently folding it with your hands. Rather, not your palm, but only your fingertips, as the heat from your palm can make the dough too soft to work with. And the only place you want the butter to melt is in the oven. This looks good. Now, taking a separate bowl, we will take 1/3 of the portion to which we will add cocoa powder along with some coffee essence. You can skip this and add coffee granules if you like, or simply skip it altogether. Once again, knead the dough lightly to get an even coloring of the chocolate dough. Now to the vanilla dough, we will add some cornstarch along with vanilla essence. The cornstarch helps to keep the cookies tender on the inside, but you can skip it altogether and add a tablespoon of flour instead. Once ready, take the dough onto the workstation and make it into a log. You don't need to get it to a perfect shape, just enough to divide it into portions. Now using a bent scraper, we will divide the dough into 8 portions. And we're not looking for perfect equal portions, so just eyeballing would be fine. Now taking a single portion at a time, we will roll it into a thin log. And repeat the same for the rest of the dough. Now taking our chocolate dough, we will repeat the same as well. Except that we will divide it into a portion less than the vanilla dough. So if your vanilla dough is 8 portions, then we will keep the chocolate to be 7 portions. And then, just like the vanilla dough, we will take each portion and roll it into a thin log, keeping the length same as the vanilla. Repeat the same for the rest of the dough. Now before you move on to the next step, make sure to clean your work surface, as the chocolate dough can leave behind a stain which can get onto the vanilla dough. The bench scraper works perfectly for this. Now starting with the vanilla dough, you can tap it gently to flatten. And take a chocolate log to place it over the vanilla. Gently flatten that as well. Similarly, repeat all the dough, alternating between the vanilla and the chocolate, until you have used up all of it. But remember, we're not trying to be perfect. I'm not keeping the length or the width same. Idea is to get a pattern unique to each cookie. Finally, once you've got it all layered up, we will pat it gently to form it into one big log. The length of it does not matter. It's the width that you'd like to keep it as the size of your cookie. You can easily get up to 36 such cookies from this batch. Now this is optional, but I wanted to make them extra crunchy on the edges, so you can add a little of caster sugar over it to coat evenly. Simply roll it into the sugar and once done, we will now transfer it onto a cling wrap and refrigerate the dough for about 30 minutes. This is to allow the dough to rest, and it also helps to get a clean edged slice for baking. You can also freeze a portion of the dough to bake another day. It can be kept frozen for over a month. Now that it's firm enough, we will slice into it. And the patterns can be quite breathtaking, I must say. Let me know what you think. And if there is a pattern you try differently, I'd love to hear from you. Do write to me in the comments below. Place the cookies onto the baking tray lined with parchment paper. Allow a little space between each, as they will spread a little on baking. Once again, we will refrigerate them just until the oven is preheated. And you can bake them for about 12 to 14 minutes. Beautiful patterned cookies with an ever so light golden edges. And the mesmerizing pattern on each one makes it even more irresistible. A perfect treat for your guests. And they'll be surprised to taste how the dual flavors of vanilla and coffee come together. Time to see how they've turned out on the inside. Perfectly baked, with a light browning on the bottom. crisp and a beautiful pattern showing through. Do give it a try and let me know. And don't forget to write to me in the comments below when you do. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.